the takeover, and then we played Cardiff at home, and we lost 2-0. So things weren't great straight after the Orient game. And then unfortunately, obviously on the trip away to Burnley, we got the sad news about Ray Jones. I mean, obviously it's a situation of everyone remembers where they were at that time. Can I ask the both of you, maybe just first of all, Tracy, do you remember where you were at that time when you got the news?
Yeah, we were actually staying for a long weekend in Blackpool. It was actually my birthday weekend, so we thought I will make a weekend of it, so we were staying over in Blackpool. And we got the news on the Saturday morning. First of all, we'd heard that something had happened to a QPR player, and then I got a phone call saying, there'd been a car accident and sad news about Ray Jones. Very, very sad. And it was one of the hardest things I had to do that day, was to explain to my youngest daughter, because she had like Ray Jones on the back of her shirt, number 31. She's still got it now. At first she was saying, I want to get a new shirt, but she's absolutely fine now. And she doesn't know it's all about Ray now.
And yourself?
Yeah, I remember it very clearly. I was at home, the phone rang, and I picked up. It was my brother-in-law, who unfortunately is a Arsenal fan. And he rang me up and he said, have you heard the news? And I said, what news is this? He said, a QPR player's died. And I immediately thought, I hope this isn't a wind-up, because him being an Arsenal fan and the way he is. But, and then I said, who is it? And he didn't know. And then I found out like 2 minutes later, I got a text message from someone I know who's quite, well knows several people at the club, and told me it was Ray Jones. And it was, a complete shock. Especially, a youngster like that, who I feel would have probably gone on to achieve more than probably Peter Crouch did when he was at QPR.
What were your feelings, Tracy, as well on his ability?
Outstanding. There was no doubt in my mind that, as Richard said that, he could have gone to the top. Absolutely no doubt. But what were you doing that day, do you mind me asking?
Well, we was on the coach going up to the away game. Yeah. And exactly like yourself, there was a phone call on the coach saying that a player had died. And there was sort of all hush around the coach. In fact, it wasn't a player, it was someone at QPR, so we instantly think someone old at the club has passed away. But to get that news was absolutely devastating. And I remember coming back from there, it's just a numb feeling for the rest of the week, really. And that's how I remember it, and then it came off obviously on Sky, and then obviously the commemorations that followed. Very, very sad time, and then we had the game, I believe, against Southampton, where we had the minute silence. For me, it was a poignant moment, because it brought me back to my own personal suffering when that song came out from P. Diddy beforehand. Yeah, and that moment was something that I will never forget.
I think there's been a number of occasions over the years where players or past players have died, or people associated with QPR, and they do a minute silence, and you always have that moment to reflect on that. But I don't think I've ever been as affected as much as when, especially when his family came on the pitch, and the rousing reception he got, and it's, you actually talking about it now, you get tingles.
Yeah.
And I was completely choked, and I think I looked around at a lot of people. I mean, no one actually knew him personally, but you just felt that you did for that moment. And I remember I was looking around at all sorts of people, left and right, and everyone had, red eyes, and it was a real, special moment. Say in a for his family.
It's a moment you never forget.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, moving on from that, we then had the news that we were about to be taken over from WATRB. What were your instant reactions of that from a perspective of the team? Did you have any sort of gut instincts at that point when the takeover was announced?
Not particularly at that point, no, because we were kind of like going through that transitional period at that particular time, weren't we? So not at that particular point I didn't know. I think as time went on and we got to know a little bit more about Flavio and the others, I think then I kind of thought, I started getting excited. But not at that particular point I didn't know.
Yeah. Okay. What about yourself?
Well, the first time I heard about it was when it was in the Daily Mail and the Telegraph that time in August. And I was on holiday at the time, and I remember running around the swimming pool with the Daily Mail in my hand saying, we're saved, and suddenly felt fantastic that day. And I remember that was my initial reaction. I thought, at last. But then you suddenly sit down and think, oh, is this just another false dawn, as we've been promised so many times?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think when it actually officially happened, and it was all official, I think I probably felt like many people, you know, this could be the start of something special. But I think with us being used to being so many letdowns in the past, you always had that little bit of slight pessimism in the back of your mind. What's the snag here?
Yeah.
You know, there's got to be some snag. Surely this can't be all good. There's going to be something. But, you know, clearly at the moment it sounds like their intentions are quite serious.
And then we had a little spell with Gregory in charge. Obviously, I think it was probably plain that he may not have been given a job long term. We then went to West Bromwich Albion, got absolutely annihilated 5-1. When Gregory was told to go, I mean, did you expect an Italian manager to come in, Richard? Or did you expect it to be an English-based?
No, I didn't actually. Not initially. I think as time went on, I started to feel that they might do that, but not initially. I think they're just going to go for someone who's a manager or a much higher profile manager than John Gregory. Someone I think with, you know, that certainly experienced more success. Who that was going to be, I don't know. I think at the time, I was thinking maybe Paul Jewell, as someone like that who used to have taken a club up to the Premiership and had done a reasonable job in a well, you could say almost a shoestring budget to an extent. That was my initial thoughts on who he might.
And so, Tracy, did you?
My initial response, I have to admit, I did actually think that it would be Vialli who would come in. That was my initial response there.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
I mean, I saw Vialli there like everyone else, and I put 2 and 2 together, and obviously added made up 5 in the end, because I did think Vialli was going to come. I wouldn't have wanted someone like Martin Allen, who was being touted at the time. Someone told me it could be Stuart Pearce, and I went on the bookies and put a bet on him and lost. So then we obviously got Gigi Di Canio. It's taken time to get that, but the first series of the results, if we look, there's obviously quite a few draws in there. I mean, any games stand out in sort of October, November? I mean, we lost to Colchester 4-2. That was the Hartford era, actually, going back to that. I mean, we mustn't forget him. I mean, was he someone that you would have expected to stay?
I think after the Charlton game, I expected him to stay.
Yeah.
But I think what had happened was that they you know, the new owner did obviously already had talks with Gigi.
Yeah.
And I think that was already in the bag by that stage.
Yeah.
But Ray Harford, I have to, Mick Harford, sorry.
Yeah.
I think he got us going during that period.
Yeah.
You know.
And that Charlton game was live on Sky.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And
great. You know, it was you know, particularly the second half of that game. I remember really well. I thought, this is suddenly something I haven't seen for QPR for a long time. Not only are we playing away to Charlton, but yeah, a game most people expect us to lose, but we were playing with passion and everything, and I thought, yeah, we're going to win this one. We really are, and it was just, I thought this is the new QPR. At that time, I thought this is the new QPR.
Okay.